6 o'clock. Shall we start? Yeah. Good day to all. Questions will be sent as chat messages at the end of the presentation. The questions shall be replied. I am Harindra Lal, Chair of the Intersociety Activities Committee, IEEE Kerala section. Since the last 80s, Institute of Engineers India, Kerala State Center, joined hands with 8 other professional organizations, had been organizing technical talks every day without fail from 5:45 to 7 p.m. at the Institute of Engineers Hall, Vellayambalam, Trivandrum, till last March 4. Owing to Corona threat, the Wednesday talk had to be suspended. Then we thought of reviving the program as a webinar, and the first talk was arranged on 15th April, organized jointly by IEEE Kerala section, Intersociety Trivandrum Chapter, Project Management India Institute Kerala Chapter, Computer Society of India Trivandrum Chapter, Institute of Engineers Kerala State Center, Vakkom Foundation Trust Trivandrum, IEEE Engineers in Medicine and Biology Society Kerala Chapter, EMBS. For today's program, there were more than 160 registrants from Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Middle East, Libya, US, Fiji, etc. Most of them are joining now. I welcome all these participants, particularly Prakash Lohana, IEEE Humanitarian Technology Activities Coordinator, IEEE Asia Pacific Region, Sheikh Fatah, IEEE HSC Education Committee Chair, Celia Shahnas, WE Coordinator, IEEE Region 10. This is the 5th program of the series, named Intersociety Weekly Webinar Series. This time, it's a panel discussion on engineers in service of community. 3 panelists and a moderator sitting in different parts of the globe. Deepak Mathur from Bangalore, Professor Sampathkumar Veeraraghavan from Boston, US, and Professor Shaji Thomas from Trichy, and Amarnath Raja as the coordinator from Trivandrum. Amarnath Raja is the past chair of IEEE Kerala section and past chair of IEEE Humanitarian Adhoc committee. He is the moderator of the program, and he will be introducing the panels to you. I welcome the panelists and the moderator. Now I request Amarnath Raja to take over. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harindra Lal. I would again like to welcome all the panelists, attendees, members of IEEE, CSI, PMI, and other sister societies, and the members of the public to this panel discussion on engineers in service of the community. So today's panel, we have a very distinguished panel, I should like to say. As Harindra Lal had said, there's about 30 years that we have had the Wednesday talks going on in Trivandrum. It's really a great thing. And I'd like to congratulate Mr. Harindra Lal because he quickly, when we thought that this Wednesday talks will end because of this coronavirus, Mr. Harindra Lal, he took the initiative and shifted this online. And in fact, it's a great advantage. Today we have 3 people from different parts of the world coming and talking to us. So actually that was an advantage that we took this thing, and it was held in Trivandrum only, and the participants were limited to the people coming to the Institution of Engineers Hall in Trivandrum. Now we have 68 participants, and I was just going through the participants list. They are from all over the state, and as Harindra Lal said, some people have joined in from all over the world. So let's proceed ahead. First and foremost, 2 administrative instructions which Harindra Lal had said, but I would like to repeat. One is, everybody please mute your microphones. You'll be force muted many of the time, but if you are there, please, if you are allowed to unmute, please mute, because it disturbs the whole proceedings here. And secondly, please type your questions on the chat window, addressing everybody with your name and the name of the panelist to whom you would like to ask the question. We'll have the Q&A session towards the end of the panel discussion. So we'll look forward for your questions and then address them. So that is the brief on the administrative thing. One thing I'm really, I have to say that engineers are doing a lot for the community. In fact, engineering practice itself is for the community. But engineers are not given that much of, prominence in that. And we have to understand that engineers are doing a great job. Today, if you go into any hospital, you go into any place, you will find engineering is doing the maximum amount of job there. Even the ventilators that you have for this COVID are pieces of complex engineering. So let us really say that engineers are required. Engineers are people who do good for humanity. And IEEE, it was great of IEEE to take this on and have a humanitarian activities committee, which is going forward and doing a lot of work in this. Plus, there are many other bodies that are working for IEEE. So with this, I know there are a lot of people other than IEEE, but as I'm in IEEE, I know a lot about IEEE. There are others also doing work for the humanity. So let me, without spending time, quickly go through the introduction of the panelists. Actually, for IEEE Kerala section, none of these panelists would require an introduction. But as there are a lot more other people, I'd like to just say a few words and try and limit the time so that, because all of them are very good friends of mine and have unhesitatingly agreed to participate. It was the first line that I asked, can you participate? Yes. Date time was asked later on. So I really appreciate the fact that this thing. But now to introduce them is a big difficulty. I know that each of their achievements would run into pages, and the few minutes that I have will not do justice to the various aspects of their life and their work. Let me start with Deepak and try to introduce as much as I can. Deepak is the director-elect of IEEE Asia Pacific region. That is, he will assume the role of director in 2021 January next year. He was the chair of the India Council of IEEE earlier, and he was the chair of the Gujarat section before, and he's held many other positions in MGA, HAC, many other bodies of IEEE. So I'll leave it at that now. He is a humanitarian and was the humanitarian activities chair in R10 immediately after me, and went on to organize the first R10 HTC at Tohoku University in Fukushima. It was a wonderful meeting with 3 presidents joining together at one regional conference. That was really a great thing. He's a very busy man, being the chief general manager of ONGC and is based out of Gujarat. BTech from IIT and subsequently did his MBA. He's talking to us from Gandhi Nagar in Gujarat. The second person I would like to introduce is Minnie Thomas. She's currently the director of National Institute of Technology in Tiruchirappalli. She has earlier taught in NIT Calicut, Delhi College of Engineering, and the Jamia. In IEEE, she has been vice chair of MGA. She has been in the Educational Activities Board, PES, and many other held many other distinguished positions. He has been honored by IEEE's highest award for a volunteer, the IEEE Larry K. Wilson Transnational Award for the year 2030. She's a BTech from Kerala University, gold medalist at that, and another double gold medalist, I should say, MTech from IIT Madras with gold medalist, and she did a doctorate from IIT Delhi. She's joining us from Trichy. Going on to Sampath, is a senior technical program manager at Amazon and is in the devices area. So when you talk to Alexa next time, be sure that Sampath is hearing you from the other side. I'm just joking, but he's in that area. He is currently the global chair for IEEE site. But his interest in humanitarian technology goes back a decade or more when he was in the college. And I remember meeting him and talking to him on the products that he has developed for autistic children. From there, he went on to do many more things in IEEE. He is also a Larry K. Wilson Transnational awardee for 2016. He has got his bachelor's from Anna University and master's from Tufts University, Massachusetts, and he will be joining us from Boston. So I have introduced the illustrious speakers as was my duty on this thing. I'll join in various small points at during the meeting, but I'd like to start this thing immediately. I'd request Deepak Mathur to go first and give his address, and after that we can go to the other.
Raja, thank you, and I'm joining this from Ahmedabad. Kerala section has always been very close to me, and I have association with almost all leaders of Kerala section: Amarnath Raja, PM Shaji, Srini, SK Nair, SM Samir, then Sarda Jayakrishnan, MC Jayakrishnan, Unni Krishnan, Unni Shankar. So I have got close relationship with almost all leaders who has shaped Kerala section in such a nice way, and they have provided direction to the Kerala section, and they have made Kerala section a model IEEE section in IEEE. So that is, we also feel proud that the section from our country is a model section for IEEE. And I always say that name any award and recognition that is with Kerala section. And many awards and recognitions are, they are getting multiple times. Young professionals of Kerala sections, they have done fantastic job. They are very dedicated, they are very passionate, and they have really shown an example by leading young professionals in section, and they have provided guidance to all over IEEE. The best part of Kerala section, which I find that they have always come forward with an example. Like they recognize the leading engineers, leading technologists of the country, and that is the example they have set. And the another very important aspect of Kerala section is that is the kind of leadership they are providing, is that their response to any disaster in their section, and they collaborate and coordinate with the government and help in the rescue operation. So these are some salient features of IEEE Kerala section, which is really making Kerala section a model section in IEEE. So with this, good evening, everyone. And thank you, Mr. Harindra Lal, Chairman, Intersociety Activities Committee of Kerala section, for inviting me to this panel. And in fact, I'm really glad that you are continuing this activity even in this lockdown period. So that really, that is commendable job you are doing. And thank you, Mr. Amarnath Raja, for the generous introduction. I'm glad that today I'm participating in this panel discussion with my old associates from IEEE. I had an opportunity to collaborate with Minnie Thomas, when I was India Council Chair, and also had interactions with her when she was on IEEE Regent and ExCom. So thank you many to be with in this panel with you. I'll share your idea. I will listen to your ideas and share my views, and we will further discuss later on. With Sampathkumar, I had several opportunities to share my views on humanitarian technology activities, especially when we were meeting in the sidelines of IEEE board series. And recently we had our discussion in Orlando in February this year. So thank you again, Kerala section, for the opportunity to share my thoughts with fellow panelists, at the same time to learn from their views. So today I'll be speaking on IEEE's perspective of engineers and service of the communities. Those who are not familiar with IEEE is world's largest technical professional organization dedicated to advancement of technology for the benefit of humanity. The organization is more than 135 years old. We have a strong member base of 420,000 plus members and having presence in more than 160 countries. So 30% of its members are student members, and that is our strength, and that shows that it has got a future. IEEE is having future because we have got 30% of the members as the student members. We have 39 technical societies, we have 7 technical councils, we sponsor 1900 conferences every year in more than 100 countries, and that is coming almost 5 conferences every day. We have 5 million documents in our digital library with more than 8 million downloads per month, and that is the richness of IEEE. There are more than 1,250 active standards. Today, almost all of us use Wi-Fi. That is the IEEE standard, and that is IEEE 802.11. IEEE is further divided into region and sections for geographic activities. There are 10 regions and 342 sections in IEEE. And sections have technical society chapters. We have student branches, affinity groups. We are currently in Asia Pacific region. The Kerala section, the India is in the Asia Pacific region, which is also known as Region 10 or R10. And R10 is one of the largest region of IEEE. And this panel has been organized by the Kerala section, which is one of the very active section of IEEE, which, as I told you. And this is also the part of Region 10. If we talk about community service by engineers, community service is in IEEE, and this is since its inception. But it came in the formal format after a radio link was established by IEEE volunteers during the tsunami. And here again, the Kerala section comes into the prominence. And that was the year 2005, when there was a tsunami, and the radio link was 117 kilometers long along the coast in Nagapattinam. And this link helped in rescue operations greatly. So that was the great involvement of volunteers and engineers putting technology to use for the service of community. And this immensely helped government and NGOs, which were doing rescue operations. This project continued for a period of 4 years, which was doing data management along with the communication to help government and NGOs. So Kerala section volunteers under the leadership of Mr. Amarnath Raja did fantastic job and showed how we can leverage technology in such challenging time to save lives. So after this event, we started discussion and brainstorming to have a formal group who has focused on the benefit of technology, especially for underserved and underserved community. I still remember how we brainstormed to define humanitarian technology activities and giving it a formal shape and structure so that we can serve underserved community worldwide in more organized way. And I will take again the name of Mr. Raja. Mr. Raja gave the name site, special interest group on humanitarian technology. Of course, this was done after lots of deliberation and consulting many leaders of IEEE. So whenever humanitarian technology activities comes to IEEE, and Amarnath Raja's name cannot be left. Thereafter, we started promoting activities under this group, and our members become very much interested in this activity. we were discussing a two-pronged approach system using technology to serve underserved. The first one, what we were discussing, is how we can use existing technology, which can be tailor-made for solving the problem of communities or underserved people. So there is no need to reinvent the wheel in order to serve the people. The second one, how we can do research to develop sustainable technologies and sustainable solutions. So these two aspects we were discussing and professing. I will give you one example in each case, which we did successfully in 2012. And in 2012, I was serving as Region 10 Humanitarian Technology Activities Chair. So our members of IEEE Beijing section did a project, remote ophthalmic medical image diagnosis for primary hospital. The project was to help eye patients of remote area. The idea was to get an expert advice and treatment from an advanced image technology, and which was available at the Beijing Institute of Ophthalmology and Beijing Tongren Hospital. So we did with the technology and resources of IEEE members of Beijing section, the eye images of patients using the available fundus camera, personal computer, and network platform in primary hospitals were transferred to the ophthalmic diagnosis and treatment platform of Beijing Institute of Ophthalmology for online ophthalmic image diagnosis and treatment. So this was not reinventing the wheel. Here we use existing technology to our advantage to serve the community. So these two examples I gave you. Another project research to serve the community by bringing sustainable solution. The project was developing sensor column for landslide monitoring. So this was not a kind of using the existing technology, but this was based on the research. So this landslide monitoring system was developed and deployed in Tubule, which is the Benguet province of Philippines. The area was very prone to the landslide, and this was an early warning system for landslide. So the landslide monitoring system consisted of locally designed and developed sensors and data logging system. So in this project, locals were also involved and trained, and we did many such projects to make members aware of the opportunities within IEEE to serve the underserved. So now our humanitarian technology activities have become very popular, and our members are using technologies, working on technologies, and serving the underserved in a great way. So the modus operandi for a successful humanitarian technology activities, which we were professing, were try to find out problem in the community, especially in underserved community. And that can be done by surveying localities and communities, or let NGO or any other body who is aware of the problem, define the problem and present to our volunteers or IEEE or national units seeking the solution. Then our volunteers brainstorm and see how technology can solve this problem. Therefore, we develop technology or use existing technology and devise a sustainable solution. So this is what we are professing to do any technology project to serve the community. And in implementation part, we wanted to involve community so that it can be managed afterwards. So involvement of community to develop the solution, sustainable solution, was the integral part, should be the integral part, what we were professing in solving the problem. So let us not forget that we are not a charity organization. We are here to bring sustainable technologies to develop sustainable solutions. So in Region 10, we are doing a new project for community service, which I would like to share with you. That is an emergency relief program, which is to assist victims of natural disaster with short-term communication, computer and power solutions. So this is the latest program which we are discussing, where Kerala section and Bangalore section, we are collaborating together with the IEEE USA. So this is based on a well-tested move outreach program of IEEE USA. Services which we plan to provide include phone charging, internet and communication support, and lighting to disaster victims. All the systems will be on a truck, and we can drive this truck to the disaster site. So this is the main objective and modus operandi to address the disaster site. When this move truck is not deployed for any disaster, this can be used to facilitate learning opportunities for students and the general public in the areas of STEM. So when it is deployed, we are serving. When it is not deployed, it is used for the learning and for students and general public, and it can be parked at anywhere, wherever. But initially, we are planning to park it in Bangalore section. In today's COVID-19 situation, IEEE is offering various resources to facilitate research to find solutions to various problems arising out of this unique crisis, and our members can use such opportunities, and they are also using that. So in a big way, the resources provided by IEEE are being used by our volunteers and members, and they are coming out with many kind of solutions and prototypes. So with this, I conclude my part, and I will take many things in question and answer session. And thanking again Kerala section bringing this very important topic for this discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Deepak. That was quite interesting, and also we hope that as IEEE director, you will be giving emphasis to humanitarian activities in the region. Now, I would like to call Sampath to share his thoughts, and he has some slides, so please share your screen.
Make sure. Scan. Okay. Are you able to see this? Hello?
Yes, Sampath, go ahead.
Okay, fantastic. Okay.
Yes, you can see.
Fantastic. Okay, that was a fabulous, talk from Dr. Deepak. Amazing to hear that. So, I'm Sampathkumar Veeraraghavan, the Global Chair of Site Steering Committee. First, kudos to the IEEE Kerala section and the leadership, and especially all the volunteers involved in driving this weekly, webinars. This is fabulous story, actually. In fact, we should craft a story out of this, program, which has been going for almost 3 decades, So I think such an impactful program cannot be delivered without the commitment of amazing leaders on the ground. So kudos to everyone who have been involved in organizing this. And, again, many thanks to Dr. Amarnath Raja for inviting me to join this panel today. So with that, brief, introduction, I would like to mainly focus my talk on 4 areas, right? One is, what is the value of engineers engaging in humanitarian space? And why should IEEE have a program like HAC and SITE, right? And what are the resources that are available, to IEEE members? And then given the current, COVID situation, what are the opportunities available to still provide the avenues for our members to engage in this kind of activity? So with that said, first let's take a, 10,000 feet to understand what is a humanitarian problem space, right? Anything that matters for us as an individual, which even after scaling up, it still holds good as a community, is what your humanitarian defines the needs of, your humanitarian space. For example, here you can see the UN sustainable goal, and there are some very key critical, challenges, sustainable challenges that's been addressed throughout the globe. Some of them include, providing affordable healthcare, tackling the energy crisis, providing good transportation and addressing the climatic changes, and also like providing equal access to information to avoid the digital divide, clean drinking water, natural and man-made disaster mitigation, environmental protection, and so on, right? So you can see there is one thing that's common across all this problem, right? One is the scale, right? I mean, the problem, when it becomes significant and a solution is needed. So the famous saying goes on, right? Necessity is the mother of invention, right? this problems provides two key aspects to us, to engineers, to professionals. One is it helps us to formulate, innovations or design innovations to match the needs of the people on the ground. Second thing is, we are actually changing touching the lives of millions of people. During the introduction that Amarnath Raja rightly pointed out, right? Like we can't take out an planet without engineers on it. We touch upon everything, from the chair we sit, from the fan we sit in the room, the computers what we speak of, the software, the platforms which help us to have this kind of connectivity, connecting different stakeholders today from across the globe. We need the different forms of engineering to come together to deliver such a kind of heterogeneous solutions. So that's why it's far most important. We'll talk about why engineers engage in humanitarian activity, right? One, as I called out earlier, the needs actually leads to innovations, right? So this provides opportunities for creative solution formulation. And the second thing is, most important here is, many projects were called out by Dr. Deepak, right? I mean, it provides an avenue for interdisciplinary collaboration, right? So in a way, it helps you to expand your scope of innovation. At the same time, it also provides you, an opportunity for networking, not only within your region or within your section, but also, providing you much a larger global platform for you, right? And the third most important thing is, on a personal level, I think, you are contributing for a larger cause, basically design solutions that transforms the sustainable challenges into opportunities for innovation, right? And the fourth important aspect here is, providing public visibility, right, on the role of engineering and engineers in addressing complex real world challenges. And also to attract, leverage these projects and initiatives as a potential, channel to attract young students, towards STEM education. So these are some of the reasons, you can see why engineers are involved in humanitarian activities. So an example slide here is, okay, so we have the technology space and then we have the humanitarian space, right? And we look through some of the common aspect from the humanitarian space. And in this slide, I would like to show some example of how technology for social good is a booming market right now, right? So we have disaster response. A classical response here is the tsunami effort that Dr. Raja led in Kerala, right? And also, like, there were a lot of post efforts recently, the earthquake and so on. So I think, like, there are multiple merits of technology available to cater to such specific, disaster relief. But we will talk about some of the examples here as well. Digital healthcare, supporting refugee, elder care, mapping vulnerable communities. You can see the breadth and width is huge. But one thing that is common here is the scale of the problem, right? It touches millions of people. A solution which you devise for a local population is still, emulatable or portable to different parts of the world. For example, the ventilator example, whether you develop a low-cost ventilator to specific to Kerala, still it's emulatable or portable to different regions. If you're addressing the needs of a local farming industry or agriculture industry, still it's portable, right? So with globalization, these problems even become a lot more important, to address from a critical standpoint. And some technology you can see from the right side here, some examples here, computer vision, right? We today, like, image processing and computer visions are being like front runner, where many companies like Facebook and so on are leveraging satellite images in order to identify the local hospitals, provide, critical services, especially during the time of disaster management, right? And also social media is also becoming very, very critical, because anytime when a disaster happens, people share their information about the local needs and supply these days in social media. In fact, this provides a rich data source for companies to come out with novel solutions, which is helping us to actually, like, provide the right kind of demand and supply for the local stakeholders. Machine learning, robotics, speech recognition, and natural language processing are other advanced streams of artificial intelligence, which have been actively used today to provide various form of solutions. And Dr. Amarnath also pointed out, like next time you talk to Alexa, if you have a problem, reach out to me. Yes, spoken language and understanding is a very, very emerging technology that's quite like impressively addressing the needs of elderly care, in this fast moving environment. So I just want you to present here in this slide how the problem space and the innovation space, you can see the correlation here, how the primary driving force for the advancement in this technology is essentially the need of the local community is the primary force here. I just wanted to emphasize that here. So with that said, Dr. Deepak gave a wonderful statistics about what is IEEE all about. I don't want to get into the statistics part. In addition to what Dr. Deepak has added, I would like to emphasize here, why should IEEE have humanitarian activities, right? There are 4 or 5 fundamental philosophy behind here, right? One is we are the world's largest professional body when it comes to engineering. We are pretty much present at grassroots level. You name any stream of technology, we are there. We have leaders, we have a huge spectrum of leaders available to provide their technical skills and research expertise to formulate solutions. And the other most important thing is, in addition to that, we also have passionate volunteers on the ground, like you all today, right? Who really want to bring in a difference by leveraging the technical skills and formulate solutions that will address the sustainable challenges. And finally, IEEE mission, right? It's all about advancing technology for the benefit of humanity. So perfectly matches, with the goal to engage IEEE volunteers in humanitarian efforts. So with that said, primarily, today there are multiple programs within the umbrella of IEEE where we provide opportunities for IEEE members to involve in this kind of humanitarian or sustainable development projects. Primarily, I'm going to give a 10,000 feet overview of HAC and site. So IEEE board has a mandate to create effective avenues for our volunteers on the grassroots level to engage in this kind of humanitarian efforts. And HAC, basically the Humanitarian Activity Committee, is the committee that owns the mandate to roll out initiatives that will foster and implement this goal. And site is essentially a part of HAC, which is the implementation mechanism for HAC. In other words, this is the feet on the ground initiative. As you can see here, the membership for site is free. We are present in about more than 100 countries, and we have about 156 units in 52 countries. And last year we supported up to 21 proposals, and 74 proposals we received across the globe. With that said, what does this programs offer to our IEEE members, right? Multiple benefits. So keep it short. One is, it helps you to professionally develop your skill. By working on a real world project, you are actually getting the ability to engage with the multiple stakeholders from the industry, from the community, and so on. It also helps you to get more training and awareness how effectively you can apply your technical skill to solve this kind of real world project. And of course, we provide project funding. If it's site, we provide from $1,000 US dollars to up to $20,000 US dollars. And then the most important thing is the networking and the satisfaction that you are causing for a greater purpose. And of course, you are doing this as part of a sustainable development community, so that you do have a family to support you if you want to work in a problem space, giving you the right best practices and the guidance there. So with that said, the most important last aspect I would like to address here is, what are we doing about, given the current health crisis, global health crisis, what are the opportunities we are still providing? So in order to make sure that, we continue to provide the, sustain the interest of our IEEE leaders and volunteers globally, SITE and HAC has joined hands to roll out a special call for proposal, especially in response to the COVID situation. So currently, we support up to $5,000 if you could actually submit a proposal, mainly coming from the system thinking hat. In other words, you have to have a good design, a prototype, which will address a specific need right now that is more relevant to the COVID situation. So far, we have approved up to like 9 proposals, I would say, and we have funded more than $30,000, within the last 4 to 5 weeks of launching this program. And in addition to the regular HACN site, the one special thing about this proposal is that the average time to get a decision is about a week. So one request from my side is Kerala has been very active, in terms of their engagement in humanitarian activities. So my request to Kerala leadership, Amarnath Raja sir, Mini Thomas ma'am, and Deepak sir, and everyone here on the call is, please encourage your local volunteers and local section to participate in the special call for. This is an amazing opportunity where we really want our members to virtually, leverage their technical skills to work on a problem space which can serve for a larger purpose. So with that said, the last slide, I just wanted to highlight, some glittering examples here. What is, what are the elements of successfully funded site projects? See, as you all know, any sustainable development initiative you work on, there are 4 elements to it. One is the community, which
you have to go a bit fast.
Sure, I will close it out. So community, partnership, and technical plan, and then of course, a properly defined impact assessment and metrics. So with this said, if you have specific question about the call fair or how you want to involve, I definitely will encourage you all to write back to us, and we'll be happy to guide you on that. So with that said, I'll stop here. And again, thanks to the organizing committee for inviting us today. And with that said, I will stop here.
But thanks a lot for your talk. In fact, you will get some proposals from us quite soon. After this call, I have a call with the section. They want some advice on how to formulate a proposal, etc. So you will get some.
Definitely, love to help the section on this.
Thank you. Next, we'll go on to Mini Thomas. Dr. Mini Thomas has been doing a lot of work in this COVID crisis, and we'd like to hear from you more on that rather than a general thing, but also on the other activities that NIT Trichy is doing in the humanitarian space. Thank you. Over to you, Mini.
Yeah. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I wish to thank the Kerala section and especially Raja sir for giving an opportunity. It's wonderful to be part of this panel where Deepak and Sampath are with me. You already heard their talks on how IEEE is doing work on humanitarian technologies and helping the society. And Sampath especially highlighted what SITE is doing. I am going to, mine is a case study as to how the engineers of NIT Trichy has helped the society over the years and also in the present crisis. So this is a case study rather than, telling you how things happen. So let me share a small presentation. I hope it's visible. Service to community by engineers of NIT Trichy, especially during COVID. This is the title of my presentation. A slide about NIT Trichy because I have to set the context. We have been the #1 NIT from the REC Times, still maintaining that spot, especially with the NIRF ranking coming up. We have won numerous awards in a lot of things, whether it is a Green Campus Award, we got 2 awards last year, Excellence in Employability, Best in Project Governance, Best Industry Linked Institute, Best Innovation Club Award from President of India last year. Finally, we moved into the top 10 engineering institutions in NIRF ranking last year, and a top 25 institutions overall in the NIRF ranking, which is, I'm thankful to the faculty, staff, and students and alumni of the institute. Some updates. Last week, we were inducted into the Prime Minister's Research Fellow Scheme. And also we have been sanctioned at 650 TF supercomputer by DST. Now I'm coming to another aspect of NIT Trichy, which is we won an award in Best in Social Responsibility from ASSOCHAM. But this has been a continuous activity as far as NIT Trichy is concerned. We have been very, very socially responsible. And I wish to share some glimpses of community service done by the present students, faculty, and the alumni of NIT Trichy. Just an example, during the Kerala floods, you know, I had a request from Raja sir, since all the fabrication units in Kerala are underwater, can you fabricate some, you know, distribution boards and send it to Kerala? It was a difficult situation, but I must thank the engineers, the student engineers, and the alumni of NIT Trichy who have factories in Trichy. We rose to the occasion, and within no time we could, you know, we could collect money from students to buy the components of you know, distribution board, and we could ship 500 distribution boards to Kerala during the flood. In addition, we could the Gaja cyclone relief also, we were very actively involved, our students and faculty. Some other social initiatives, just for example, we started something called Ignite, that is coaching for 10th and 12th, 10th, 11th, 12th students from rural schools, because we get bright students from across India and abroad through JEE, as good as I would say top IIT students. So they are full of enthusiasm, so they want to coach the government school students. So we tied up with the Collectorate of Trichy, and we identified 60 students from rural schools of Trichy district, and we are our students are training for them for JEE entrance examination. And the best part is they are here Saturday, Sunday. Saturday morning they come, full day coaching, they stay here with us. We have provided accommodation, and out of the 60, 44 are girls. So this is a service to the society which we are doing. Our students designed a truck mounted vacuum cleaner for the Trichy Corporation. This is another alumni effort, an alumni from San Francisco. He's from Trichy. He wanted to design a vacuum cleaner which can be truck mounted in less than 50,000 rupees. But we managed the first device in 70,000, and we handed it over to the Trichy Corporation. The commissioner is seen here in the photo. So they are using it. Now we are developing the second machine with the inputs from the actual users of the truck. Also, the picture which you can see is a solar photovoltaic powered cold storage facility. This we are collaborating with the Indian Institute of Food Processing Technology in Tanjavur, where we have designed this cold storage without electricity. So the farmers in villages, rural areas without electricity can store their fruits and vegetables in this and can be taken to the market fresh. So these are some initiatives which we took, you know, we have been taking. Now, impact of COVID-19, I don't have to tell you, more than 1.5 billion students and youth across the world are affected by school and university closure due to COVID-19 outbreak. This is as per International Association of Universities. Nationwide closure is impacting more than 90% of the world's students. UGC, they have come out with, you know, the concerns, ensuring health, safety, security of the students, faculty, and staff, conducting examination, declaration of results, facilitating the students to participate in further admissions, placement, research, training, etc., charting out plan for the next academic session. So educational institutions are actually going through a turmoil because especially residential institutions like us, because we have all our students from across India and abroad. So we thought, you know, during this time, we are working out our academic schedule. We are going for online exam for final year students. Otherwise, their placement will be in trouble. But side by side, we have been encouraging our students and faculty and staff here to do something to circumvent the COVID impact. This is just an example. NIT Council, we have 31 NITs. So the NIT Council, they had asked us to submit project proposals related to COVID. This is a snapshot. So 173 proposals, projects are being worked out by different NITs. You can see NIT Trichy here. We have 28 projects ongoing, all for COVID related solutions, where engineers are going to come out with results. For our contribution to technology and service to society, we didn't want to depend on others, so we created our own hand sanitizer. Our chemistry and chemical department came out with our own sanitizer for use everywhere in the campus, including the hospital. We 3D printed face shields, which I'll come to a little later. Face masks, we, in the campus itself, we created around 4,000 masks, distributed it to everybody in the campus and all our employees and campus residents. Automated water and sanitizer dispensers for the campus, and many more projects are in the anvil. The 3D printed face shields printed in our Center of Excellence in Manufacturing. We handed over 100 to the General Hospital Trichy. Police wanted 300. Our Tiruvarambur subdivision, the DSP wanted 300, and the airport wanted 50. So we have provided all this. More, we are in the anvil. More production is going on. Similarly, we created a benevolent fund. This is to meet people's basic needs. We realized that there are so many people who are dependent on the campus. They are without jobs now. For example, so this is generally, there are persons in and around NIT Trichy who are serving the campus. For example, small-time vegetable vendors, milk vendors, packaged drinking water suppliers, newspaper delivery boys, fruit sellers, cobbler. They are not in the campus anymore because the students have all gone back. So we have 300 families and around 250 students. So they are all jobless for the last 2 months. So, and also off campus, there are so many orphanages and old age homes in Trichy. So we created this benevolent fund 2 weeks back, and we distributed around 80 beneficiaries. We are collecting more money. This is from faculty and staff. We haven't yet asked alumni, but this is very much appreciated by the people who have actually lost jobs in and around the campus. Moving on, our alumni from across the globe have done wonderful work for COVID. For example, one of our alumnus, Srikumar Nair, he is Admiral, a superintendent of the Naval Dockyard in Visakhapatnam. They have designed an innovative portable mini multi-feed oxygen manifold. So with one oxygen cylinder, they can supply to 6 beds, 6-way radial header. So this is already in use in Visakhapatnam. Bloom Energy in Los Angeles, K.R. Sridhar is our alumnus. He has been fixing the broken ventilators in California, very successful, very much appreciated by the US and the California governor and his team. Mr. R.B. Ramesh and his team of friends have been providing groceries to daily wages civil workers in Chengalpet, Tamil Nadu. Corona Kitchen was set up by 1987 RECTNs. NITNs of 87 batch. They have come out every day. They are providing food to so many people. This is a professor, Devesh is a professor at Georgia Tech. They have been successful in developing this open air vent GT project at Georgia Tech. And they want us to collaborate and come out with a product in India. So we are collaborating with a company in Coimbatore, and we may start producing this with the help of that company. many other things. In California, somebody is doing something. This is Northridge 3D printers. And Ankit Jain is actually the head planning food relief foundation of ISKCON Delhi. You might have heard, read in newspaper that Ankit and his team, who is again an 2005 batch of NIT Trichy, is heading they are cooking 5 lakh meals every day and distributing in Delhi. Including drones to maintain social distance, sanitization tunnels for sanitization, pedal-driven hand washing machines, GPS to track movements of rickshaws, CCTV, etc. So Ankit is our proud alumnus again. Also, I would like to mention that, Professor S.K. Ramesh is our alumnus, who is the past president of Educational Activities Board and IEEE presidential candidate. He's doing a lot of humanitarian activities as such. So we are proud of the engineers of NIT Trichy and the alumni and the staff for helping the society in a big way. That's my last slide. We have an incredible campus here with birds and animals. COVID-19 is here to stay for a while. Let's learn to live with it. Stay safe, wear masks, wash your hands, keep physical distance. Thank you. And this is our tagline, locally relevant. We have to be locally relevant in wherever we are, and however we have to be globally competitive. That's part of our strategic plan, new tagline. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mini. It's been very excellent. The work that you people are doing is fabulous. I talked to you over phone, but this is a far greater information. Thanks a lot for joining today. Now, I would like to hand over to Jayakrishnan for some questions, but I got a chat message that Celia and Sheikh Fatah joined from Bangladesh. So welcome to both of you for joining at this time. This is the second of the Wednesday meeting that you have joined. Thanks. Now, BKD sir had a question he wanted to ask, and it was not on chat. So Shankar, if you could unmute him.
Okay, sir.
Hello.
After that, we'll hand it over to Jayan for.
Okay. My question was especially to Dr. Deepak Mathur. My question is actually some of these humanitarian technology challenges, especially in the light of COVID experience. Should we not integrate these things into the engineering curriculum instead of doing it as something plus? We should actually train students regularly in handling such issues which are likely to come more often in future. Thank you.
You're muted, Deepak.
So good evening, sir. That is a really very good question. I think that is a very good suggestion, I would like to say. And I would like to add one more thing with your suggestion, that we should also educate our students, volunteers, how to move from project to product. So we do projects, and our projects are either in the reports or in the shelves. So how to convert our projects to the product, and how to take that product to the industry. So these aspects should be the part of skill development or curriculum. So that I agree with you, sir, VKD sir. This should be there. Yes.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Deepak. VKD sir, is there anything more for you to ask?
It's okay, fine. Thank you.
Okay, so there is a question from Gomati from Adi Shankara College of Engineering. So this is to Sampath, and she would like to know, because their students are doing electrification for financially backward families, must be in the locality. So the process for getting fund from site is what her question is.
Okay, fantastic. A great question. So there are two callouts here. First of all, it's glad to learn that you guys are working on a civic-centric project. So I think that actually matches with the site's expectation. Sites projects are always been working backwards from the needs of the community. It's a bottom-up approach. Now, in terms of applying for funding, as I said, there are two special call for proposal. Like the current for the COVID-related one, you can apply it directly. But if you want to apply for the regular site call for, then you need to create a site group within your institution. It's very simple. You need only 6 IEEE volunteers. It can even be student volunteers. You submit a petition to the site operational team, and we review that in a couple of weeks, and we'll make a decision. Once that is approved, we provide a $500 seed fund, $250 I believe, as a seed fund to encourage your site groups to be active, and then that will also make you to be eligible to apply for the site logic grant, which is like $1,000 to $20,000. So I would request you to look into site.ieee.org, and also like I can send some resources slides to all the participants today, and you can write to me as well, and that way we'll be able to guide you the process and the next steps to apply for grants within the site.
Yeah, thank you, Sampath. I hope that clarified the process, and definitely the Kerala section side can always help out in applying for funding.
Okay.
So,
okay, Jane, if I may ask a question in between. Do you have a list of questions there more? I'd like to ask Nini, one of the interesting things that you talked about was the online examinations that you are holding for the final year students. Engineering exams are quite complicated. I'm not sure how essay type and there are problems to solve. How are you going to do all that online?
Yeah, actually it's not because we took an extensive survey of our final year students, which comes to around 1,600 in number, undergraduate and postgraduate, and the postgraduate students are only projects. So that is easy because you can it is like actually conducting a online meeting, so that's easy. And for undergraduates, we are doing only the final year exams right now, because that is the urgent need that we need to graduate them, because we have around 1,000 placements. So we don't want to jeopardize their placements. So final year has only 3 theory papers. The extensive survey shows that around 90% of our students don't have connectivity problem. But then we are not making it online completely, that they have to type the answers online. We have developed a portal in which the faculty module from the faculty can upload the question paper. It's kind of an open book test. The faculty can upload multiple question papers which will be randomized, and the students will log in and download the question paper, and then they will answer either directly on Word, or they can write it on a paper or whatever, and then they can finally convert it into a PDF and then upload. And we are going to give a window for uploading, not just a stop time, but we are giving a window for uploading, and they will be in touch with the faculty. So the start time, end time, the MAC address, everything will be recorded from the backend. We are giving up to 30% only for the final evaluation. This is how we are planning. We have successfully tested it, and hopefully we'll be deploying it from 26th May.
It's a great thing that you're doing for your students. Yeah. So.
Because we wanted them to earn the degree, we didn't want to just say that there's no final exam, we are going to give you the degree. Yeah.
Okay, that was nice.
So here there is a question from Sheikh Fatah from Bangladesh to Deepak. It is not really a question, but a request and suggestion. That is, in the future, under your leadership, we want to see more funding to local community-based projects all over the region 10 to inspire more volunteers. And you have the capability to bring in front many local initiatives and nourish them from region 10 to scale up. So he would like to know your thoughts, Deepak.
I think the question is very good, but very tough for me to answer. Because definitely we would like to promote humanitarian activities, and we would like that our volunteers are more involved in helping communities, bringing technical solutions to the problem of the communities. And we will be definitely having the fund aside, but we have seen that still we are not successful in implementing right kind of the community solutions, sustainable solutions. So I think the era of just having a project, doing a project and keeping that in shelves or in the reports, I think that should go, and we should come forward to implement the real life solution to the community. So with that in mind, I would definitely like to encourage the participation from the members. Will have the fund for that. And in fact, site is also promoting and giving a lot of funds. Region will also do that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Deepak. And here is a question from Dr. Govind, which is to any of the panelists can pick this up. The question is why we are still importing many items in spite of engineering excellence. We are still not scaling up the production. So, I don't know, Dr. Mini, do you want to take that up or
Yeah,
someone?
I can chip in.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I was listening to the Prime Minister. So what he was saying is, for example, personal protection equipment. We were not manufacturing any, but when a need came, now we have 2 lakh per day production. Similarly with N95 masks. And recently we were interacting with the defense sector, where almost 100% of the products or components are imported. But there is a great move by the defense sector. 2 defense corridors are coming up, one in UP and one in Tamil Nadu, and Trichy is one of the 5 spots selected for defense corridor. So we are working closely with defense, and when the defense secretary visited NIT Trichy, his request was, if we can, whatever imported item is there, if we can break it up and give a design of a product, they are willing to take it up. The only problem is we have to come up to the challenge, the engineers, and we need to move into more product development than just teaching the theory and doing projects which are generally dumb. So and ISRO also, they have recently ISRO has taken up the space technology incubation centers, and they have selected 5 NITs in 5 regions to set up space technology incubation centers, where the problems of ISRO labs are given to us to solve, and they are monitoring it on a monthly basis. So we have got a STIC here at NIT Trichy. So 10 projects we are doing. Hopefully we will develop 10 projects. So something is happening. I think we have to rise to the occasion and move into products than just the projects.
Thank you, Nini. Any other panelists?
Yeah. So I can give a quick comment here. So I think let's take a step back here, right? I mean, there are 2 aspects here, right? I mean, we are talking about many items here we are getting imported. So I think we have to take a holistic look at the product development cycle, right? I mean, a product development cycle, as you see, a product is conceived. Yeah, a need is understood. A product is conceived. And then what we call it as MVP, the minimum viable product, a prototype is delivered. and then basically like, then a commercialized version of that comes to the market, right? Now, there are two ways to look at it here. I think one is, if we are not scaling up the production, there are two fronts here. One, the demand and supply. Maybe we have a lesser demand. Maybe the current product, what we are delivering, maybe it's for various reasons. One of the factors can be like, there is already like an alternative low cost solution that may be out there, which may be like, it's reducing the, customer base for a new product what you're launching. The second thing I would definitely call out here is, I think one of the major challenges which I have observed in many of the students that I've monitored or mentored back in India is that sustainability of the product is very critical. When you conceive any kind of like product, right? I mean, any engineering solution, we should always try to define a well-defined roadmap. How do you want to evolve your product, like your solution? A classical example today, if I take this webinar series as a product, as a program, product or a program, you can clearly say, because of the COVID situation, they reinvented themselves and making sure they adapted to the arising challenge, right? They normally adapted to Zoom, basically, right? And they expanded. So the meta point here is, sometimes if you don't have a clear roadmap in terms of how your technology will evolve, or if you're not carefully paying attention into what are the latest technological trends by which you could advance your solution, those I think sometimes will let you to lose this, run into this problem of losing your, customer base. That also can be one factor. But then this is also a very, very subjective question, right? I mean, there are other, fields like, when it comes to technology, like mainly from computer science standpoint, that India has been the front runner in several aspects, right? So mainly from production standpoint, one, we need the right infrastructure, but in order for us to prepare ourselves for a larger, production level scale, we need to have good solutions which are evolvable and can meet the needs of the local players. That I think is very, very important here.
Okay.
Can I just add?
Deepak, please add.
Yes. So many I agree with you, and to some extent, Sampath, I also agree with you. The point here is that site is doing a lot of projects, but I do not know whether those projects can be converted into the product. So when we give call for the proposal, when we invite the proposals and projects are done, then after that we don't take it up. And this I think this should be added to our all call for proposals. Whosoever is providing funding, that the projects are converted into the product, and if product is worth, then it should be taken for the production. This full cycle we have to see that. Recently, what has happened? A student who has made terrain robber, and terrain robber he has made during this COVID-19 era, and the purpose was that the robot will take the medicine to the patient and from the dispensing center, and he has posted that working model on the website and on the Facebook. So, but now he's clueless after developing this particular doing this project and developing a prototype. What should be done? So there is a need to provide a guidance to those kind of volunteers and members from our IEEE side. So we have to work on that. Probably this question raised is a really should be an eye opener for all of us, and we should go one step ahead whenever we get any project. Then how to go further? Just a comment.
Thank you, Deepak. And I have one more question here, if time permits, from Celia Shahnaz from Bangladesh. The question is to Dr. Mini, that is, she would like to know that is students living in rural community, what are the initiatives taken by NIT Trichy for conducting online classes and webinars to those students who has problem with connectivity and in the rural.
Yeah, as I said, thank you, Celia. Nice that you joined. Actually, we took a survey. So undergraduate students, we have a few students who are in rural areas. Now they've gone back home, who have only 2G connectivity. So they have a problem in attending classes or writing the online exam. So we have thought of 2-3 different options for them. One is, now that lockdown is a little may get relaxed a bit. If they can, one is if they can move to nearby town or somewhere where they have a little more connectivity. That is one option. If that is not possible, then we may resort to a kind of a telephonic kind of interaction with them, or we are giving them a third option that whenever the college reopens, if they are not in a hurry to graduate, that they have to join a job, or if they have to take up higher studies, if that is not a problem, whenever the college, the institution reopens in maybe September or October, we will be conducting another series of exams for final year students. So they can come back to campus and take the exam. So we are giving them multiple options. So those who are in a hurry, we need to give them a chance to graduate. But we are talking to each and every student, especially the students from rural areas, as to what are their problems. That is one. Second is, if anybody has any problem with finances, that also we are addressing, because some parents may have lost jobs, so they may have a problem commuting, or they may have a problem Thank you.
Thank you. There are a couple of more, but I think let us close this at this point. Yeah, it is getting to be quite late. Yeah, there is a formal vote of thanks, but I'd like to thank all three of you for joining, and it was a wonderful time here. So over to you. Guru,
I invite Koru to give you the vote of thanks. Koru.
Guru, you are muted.
Yeah. Okay. I hope you can hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for interesting me, the role for this giving the vote of thanks. I hope everybody enjoyed this program. If I remember correctly, the Wednesday's talk at Institution of Engineers was started in 80s. And we are happy to see that it is still continuing now. The one main difficulty we faced when we organized in the local program was arranging participants. It was very few. But for today's program, to my surprise, I was told that 160 participants registered, and that too from Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Middle East, Libya, USA, Fiji, etc., and lot more. The success of any program depends on its participants. First of all, let me express our sincere thanks to all the participants who attended this program, and I wish them, let it be a very, very beneficial program for them all. And this large number of participants was possible only because of one person. I have to specially mention his name. That is Mr. Harendralal, our Intersociety Relations Activity Chairman. He has taken this role, and we are extending, sir, our sincere thanks for organizing the program in this week. And the most important thanks is for our panelist and moderator, Amarnath Raja. Amarnath Raja sir, we are extremely thankful to you for coordinating the panel discussions in an exemplary manner and kindly accept our sincere thanks.
Thank you, Korut. It was a pleasure to coordinate these wonderful persons and have a discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, because of time limited, I will make a short. Our panelist, Mr. Deepak Mathur, has already introduced this. I am not telling much on this one. But thank you, sir. You have highlighted the major activities of IEEE. And thank you for highlighting Kerala section's activities. And mainly you have highlighted the community service activity of engineers. And you have highlighted the different projects, that is mainly. That is emergency relief program, image program, and researchers and everything. And one more thing, especially thank you for answering for that VKD's question. You have highlighted a very great thing which you have lacked, which we are in the schools and educations, a lot of students are making projects. But these projects are not coming commercially and to the market price. So what you have told is we should educate our students and who could convert their project into product. And sir, we are extremely thankful to sir. We are extending our sincere thanks to you. And on behalf personally and also on the organizers, I extend you a lot of thanks, sir. Sir.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Next is Mini Shaji Thomas. Madam, we are extremely thankful to you. Even by seeing your report and case studies, and I have nothing to say, anything else. For engineers and everything, you are doing an excellent job, fabulous work. And this is a great information what an industry or an education institution can do it. We are really appreciated by seeing your report. I know how much busy schedule you are having. Finally finding time for here and coming so much expression. We are extremely thankful to you. We are extending our sincere thanks on behalf of the organizers. Thank you, madam.
Thank you. In fact, yesterday we had I was giving a talk on the challenges of education institutions. Here, the Tamil Nadu chapter of Institution of Engineers. So yesterday it was Tamil Nadu, today is Kerala Institution of Engineers.
Okay. No, you are really active. And then next one goes to Sampath. Sampath, really an informative talk. You have highlighted everything on the sites, and I think almost all our students will be motivated by this one. I hope you will get a lot of projects in this one. And mainly you have highlighted the technology for social good. That's really impressive. That is, you have highlighted different things. The responsibilities, digital healthcare, then supporting refugees, elderly, and a lot of things are there. It was really an interesting and informative talk, sir. And I hope this your talk have given more ideas to the listeners, so they can do more for the engineering activities. Thank you very much, and we are extending our sincere thanks to you on personally, on behalf, and on the organizers. Thank you.
Definitely. Thanks to Kerala section. Again, it's amazing to join. And one shootout call here, as many of you know, a site was formally announced on December 15th in Kerala. And Raja sir is here. He's a pioneer when it comes to HAC and site. So huge kudos to Kerala again for being the front runner in driving this kind of efforts.
Okay, thank you, sir. But it is not appropriate if I am not mentioning some names, even though we are late. Our sincere thanks goes to our section chair, Srimati Sharada Jayakrishnan, and she is leading us. She is giving us direction in everything. Thank you, madam, for all this one. For our chair, Sharada madam, and her team, and all the executive members for this one. And they are providing the Zoom platform for us. Thanks for arranging the Zoom platform, supported by Sridev Sham, and Shankar Jayaraj, who are managing the Zoom platform. Special thanks to them. And our sincere thanks to Sweda Harikumar and IEEE YP and her associates who are also doing the background work. And lastly, I especially thank all the organizers. This program was organized by IEEE Kerala section and Intersociety Trivandrum Chapter and Computer Society of India Trivandrum Chapter, Project Management Institute of Kerala Chapter, Institute of Engineers Kerala State Center, Vakkom Moulavi Foundation Trust, and EMBS, that is Engineering, Medicine and Biology of IEEE Kerala Chapter, who all are behind organizing this webinar series. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. And I think we'll close this meeting. Thanks everyone for joining.
Bye-bye.
Next meeting is by the Director of VSSC, Somnath. Next Wednesday, same time. See you all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great time ahead.